Welcome back, everybody, to Full Sail Live. I am Eli Shelton. My guest at this time is the Whiteford head football coach, Todd Thieken. Todd, how you doing?
Great, Eli. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Coach, you're 26-0, state champion, and you've got one more game for a shot at back-to-back. What is it as head coach that you've brought to this team?
I haven't brought anything. We just have a great bunch of kids that come out here and work and practice every day. We've just tried to make sure that everything that we've done for the last 12, 13 years around here, we're just being consistent with. If anything, we try to work on toughness every day, and technique type stuff, and so on. But the kids just work hard every day, and that's why where we're at.
And last year in your state title run, you had the first 4-year starter in school history in Shea Ruddy. Now, your quarterback is one of the youngest starters on the team as a freshman in Trey Eitner. What was it in the offseason that he showed that made you say he's our quarterback?
And it was a battle during the preseason, to figure out who we were going to put there. I think it was just watching him throw the ball in the summer and stuff like that. When we were doing pass type stuff, our offense was moving really well with him in there. But we do use a 2 quarterback system. Ryan Ruddy, our senior, so we alternate them. But Trey is technically the starter. He came out game 1, had a great game 1. He's just been getting better and better each week. But it was just a lot of the intangibles that we saw back in the summer, the way he handled himself and the way way he throws the ball.
Speaking of 4-year starters, this year you have 5 of them. Drew Nags, Hunter DeBar, Ryan Ruddy, and the Ayatt twins, Jake and Jack. What is it about their leadership that makes them so important to this team?
The leadership the part of it is that, probably back when they were freshmen and they were starting, they probably shouldn't have been starting yet, but just, we were so young at that time. But they've just matured so much year after year. They're great leaders out here on the practice field. They're great leaders in the weight room. They're great leaders in the school. They don't take anything for granted. There's a level of confidence that they all have, but there's nothing cocky about anything that they do. So they know that the expectation is that they should come out here and work just as hard as what they did back when they were freshmen, trying to earn a spot. And so that's the thing that they do, is they work like a kid that's trying to earn a spot every day, and that's why they're so good at what they do.
And you had to sweat out your first 3 weeks all against playoff teams, Blissfield, Ida, Ottawa Hills. So how did those games prepare you for the postseason?
They prepared us in a couple ways. One was because of the fact that we played some teams that were tough, for one. And then 2, in all 3 of those games we were behind, and we had to come back. So it showed the resolve and the character, or the type of kids that we have here, that they don't quit. What it's done for us as the seasons went on, I think it's really made us better, because in each of those 3 weeks, they realize that, on any given week, if you don't come ready to play, someone can get you. So, their practice efforts have changed a little bit, and so forth. But at the same time, it's also, I think it's made them hungrier, because again, they realize that they can't just show up and play, and they know that there's teams out there that have the potential to beat them, just like a team that we're playing tomorrow. So, but it's helped them with their work ethic, what they do, and it's also just helped knowing that they know they're not going to quit at whatever they have in front of them.
You mentioned your opponent tomorrow. You play Riverview Gabriel Richard at Adrian College. You defeated them 56-19 last year, but we know teams change year to year. What have you noticed on film that they do better now compared to a year ago?
Yeah, I think they're much more dynamic this year. They had a pretty young team last year. Those kids are all a year older. You can tell it when you're watching film that they're a bit faster, they're a bit bigger. They're very explosive on offense. They do a lot of things well. Do a lot of things that put you in conflict defensively. So we're going to have to make sure that our DBs are reading their keys on every play, and that we're getting 11 guys to the ball, because they have a stable of backs, and their quarterback, they all run hard, and they're explosive when they get in the open field. So we got to make sure that we try to limit big plays as much as we can.
Coach, final question. In your second year as head coach, but you've been around here since 2016. You've been a part of all the state title runs, win or lose. What is it about this senior group that makes them so special, and how will they be remembered?
I think I hope, as we get through the next 8 days that, we're fortunate enough to win another one. If that happens, they're going to be remembered as the best group that's ever came through here. Their record, when it's all said and done, is going to be the best, 4-year record that we've ever had here. The fact that they played in 3 state semifinal games, hopefully 2 state championship games, 3 league titles. They're going to be remembered for a lot of things. I mean, there's a lot of records that have been broke by, these group of guys, the receiving record, the rushing records, the tackle records, scoring records. But the thing that makes these kids so great is they don't care about any of that. They care about tomorrow getting a W. And I know that's, cliche. Everybody says that, but they don't, 1 week, we could have one guy that has the ball and gets 15 carries, and the next week he might get only 3. They don't care. They want to win, and they're going to come out here and practice and do the things that they have to do to win and be better. But their character, their work ethic, their athleticism, all those things are to be remembered. This is a special group. It's we've been fortunate to have some pretty good groups that have come through here, but they're certainly one of the better ones, and they're going to be hard to replace.
Thank you so much, Coach. I appreciate your time.
Thanks, Eli.